Guten Tag, and welcome back to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, your podcast for a review of a movie right after two guys saw it from the parking lot to your ears. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy. And normally we jump right in here, but this episode, Todd has a couple things to get off his chest.
Yes. I first have to admit that I saw a movie without Matt, but I at least wanted to...
Boo.
I wanted to throw it in. I saw Arctic Dogs. I think it's called Arctic. Yeah, Arctic Dogs with my daughter. And she loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If you've got kids, it's a nice, cute movie and worth the money to go see.
However, that does not preclude us from going to see it together, Todd, and providing an official review. That was an unofficial.
Yes, that's an unofficial, but I wanted to at least let the people know where I'm coming from. Second, I've gotten some feedback from a previous episode about the Addams Family. In the episode, I said I didn't like the way Gomez Addams looked. I thought he was more suave, and they made him look kind of like buffoonish. And apparently, I've been corrected and told that that is how he looked in the original cartoon, which I didn't know there was an original cartoon. I thought it started as the live-action show. So, I'm going to retract that part of what I said, the Gomez Addams buffoonish. I didn't like the way he looked. But I'm going to keep everything else that I said because I hated that movie and it was bad. And if the person who wrote that review or contacted me about that correction doesn't like what I have to say about the Addams Family, they can start their own podcast from the parking lot of the movie theater and start saying it, because our opinions matter most here, Matt, because we are at the helm of this thing.
That's right. And I would go further to say that they need to invite me to go to the movie with them and form a new podcast team. Wait, what just happened here, Todd?
Are you leaving?
Well, anyway, that's enough of that. We love our listeners. Please keep listening. Maybe we'll criticize you. Or
yeah, if you clap back at me, I'm going to clap back at you.
Or we'll back you up if you have something great to say. So on to that movie we saw today, which was quite interesting. We saw a movie called Parasite, which is a Korean film, certainly released to wide release in the USA. It is subtitled, but I don't think that's I mean, it's a problem for some people for sure, but it's not.
Sorry.
Some people don't like subtitles, Todd. It's true.
Don't let the subtitles scare you.
Don't let the subtitles scare you. That's what we say as semi-pro movie reviewers. And it is a movie about a poor family in South Korea who kind of worms their way into the good graces and employ of a rich family, playing different characters and playing different roles for this family. You've got your driver, your tutors for the children, you've got your housekeeper. And then things get pretty complicated from there. As you might imagine, they're sort of all pretending to be something they're not. And yeah, so
that was I was worried on how you were going to present the movie without talking too much about it, but you did a good job.
Well, thanks, Todd. Oh. We try to stay spoiler-free, and I think I've accomplished that goal.
I think you really did, yeah.
So what did you think, Todd?
I will say this movie is, for me, a brain buster. Like, it's one of those movies where I will be thinking about it for the next couple of days to weeks and trying to decide really where I really land on it. But since we're a podcast about instant feelings, instant reviews, coming out of the theater, seeing it in the car, I'm definitely going to say I liked it a lot. It is extremely well acted. The story is super engaging. And I can tell that because the tell for me when I'm seeing a movie, if I'm really engaged in it, I stop drinking my soda and I have soda left over at the end of the movie, which I did tonight. So, it's hard to talk about this movie without wanting to talk about different things that happened in the movie that we're going to remain free from so that everyone can go in. But I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Very good movie. Story is really engaging. There's plenty of twists and turns. It's a comedy at times. It's a suspense movie at times. It's a drama at times. It kind of just cycles through many genres. And it just does it very effortlessly. Like, it's not, like at some point I thought we were still in a comedy, and then all of a sudden I realized that we're not. And I'm like, I was taken back by it, but it wasn't a bad transition. So I definitely recommend it. Don't let the subtitles scare you. I was not thrilled about having to read the entire movie either, but it is so well done. And, yeah, you'll be thinking about it, I think, for some time after you see the movie. Matt?
Well, I agree with you, Todd. I really enjoyed myself during this movie. There were twists and turns, and you really didn't see them coming. There's one little detail that I was sharing with Todd that I won't share with you, audience. That maybe set something up, but I couldn't tell what it set up. I just could tell that it was sort of like, oh, that's an interesting detail that was thrown out there. I don't know what it's for. And I didn't know what it was for until everything was revealed. So I would say my overwhelming sort of feeling was about this movie was suspense. I felt very kind of on the edge of my seat at many points. And they did this many ways in the movie. And like Todd said, some of them were even somewhat comedic, but it was still suspenseful because there's underlying feeling of dread for the people involved and what's going to happen to them. And I thought they did a great job of making you care about the characters in the movie. And Todd's right. It was really well acted throughout. So that's what I would say.
The tagline for this movie that I've seen a lot is forget about the Joker, go see Parasite. Like, and there are some comparisons in the movie, but I think in general they were going for like suspenseful movie and stuff like that. Which one's better or whatever.
Yeah,
I definitely would give Parasite my recommendation.
Yep,
over the Joker.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, out of 5 Korean subtitles, Todd, what would you rate this film?
This is definitely going to get the highest rating I've given out so far. I'm going to have to go with 4. Ooh, this is hard. My rating now is a 4.3. Okay. But if any of our listeners want to talk to me or message me a week or two from now, it could change. It could go up or it could get down. That's what this movie kind of is that you really got to think about it. So I'm sticking with 4.3 right now. Definitely the best movie that we've seen so far doing this podcast.
Fair enough. Well, I'm very close to you on the rating scale. I would give it 4.5 Korean subtitles. And I would highly recommend you see it. You can talk to me a week later. I'm not changing for no matter what. And yeah, there it is. So thanks for listening to this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we review the movie Parasite from the parking lot after just having seen it at the theater.
Da-da-da-da, da-da-da.